It's the final round of Canyons District's Book Blitz Junior Contest. It's Sunrise versus Canyon View, and it's a nail-biter.
In the competition round, you do not have to wait for me to finish asking the question, okay? So you can...
After winning competitions at their respective schools, these two teams have risen to the top of their field in a district-wide Jeopardy-style contest where students must answer questions about the characters, settings, and plots of 12 books they've been challenged to read. Sunrise and Canyon View finished the first round with near-perfect scores. They're tied up now in the final round, and all that stands between them and the first-place trophy are 3 tiebreaker questions. Speed counts at this point in the competition. The first to answer the questions wins.
Was a house really a great big flying ship? Okay. I would like to congratulate Sunrise.
Sunrise's teammates, they call themselves the Word Ninjas, exchange fist bumps and high fives before congratulating their Canyon View opponents on a battle well fought. These 4th and 5th graders are understandably feeling pretty proud. They began reading and preparing for this day 5 months ago. Many read all 12 books, with some reading each book several times over. So while winning is fun, it probably shouldn't surprise anyone that the part of the contest that most Book Blitz participants say they like best was the reading. So much reading.
What was the funnest part of this whole competition?
Reading.
You love reading?
Yes.
You loved reading even before you started this competition?
Yes.
What do you like about reading?
It can take you into a different world.
Reading is definitely as addicting as any TV show or anything.
Yeah,
it's just
that's true.
If you
Once
actually
you read a book, it'll take your moms to say breakfast 1 million times before you come down.
Welcome to Connect Canyons, a podcast sponsored by Canyon School District. This is a show about what we teach, how we teach, and why. We get up close and personal with some of the people who make our schools great. Students, teachers, principals, parents, and more. We meet national experts too. Learning is about making connections. So connect with us.
This is Connect Canyons, and I'm your host, Kirsten Stewart. We all know how fundamental reading is to learning, especially after the 3rd grade. In grades 4 and 5, students begin encountering a wider variety of texts and must know how to extract and analyze information from them. The coming years are a big vocabulary building time, and the best way to learn new words and ideas is to encounter them in conversation and books, both of which are central to Book Blitz, according to CSD'S library specialist Gretchen Zeitzef.
Reading is the most important academic skill a student can acquire. If they can read, they can learn anything. They can learn math, they can learn science, they can learn history, they can learn computer science. It all goes back to reading. And just like anything else, if you want to be good at it, you got to spend time doing it. So the more time you spend reading, the better you are at it. And the better you are at reading, the better you are at everything else.
Book Blitz builds motivated readers. It introduces students to books they might not seek out themselves and gives them a long-term goal to reach for with their peers. And it's this community building that Zeitzef values most.
The biggest reason is to build a community of readers who share that same passion and love of reading, but it gives them other readers to enjoy that opportunity with.
Because it is a pretty solitary activity.
Right. If you're reading, it's typically you in the book or the ebook or the audiobook. However, this is a community that anyone can join. You don't have to be tall. You don't have to be fast. You just have to be willing to read, and you don't even have to read every book.
It also takes a community to organize and stage Book Blitz, from CSD's licensed librarians and supportive principals to organizations like the Sandy Rotary Club, which donated books, and PTA parent volunteers like Katie Rowley from Altaview Elementary.
It's a really cool way for them to use something that the kids need to work on, like reading, to be able to say, it's a cool thing to do. It's cool to read. There were some kids at our school too that's what they do. They don't compete in sports, and they were so excited to finally have an opportunity to compete in something that they loved to do. So I really loved to see that, to be able to give something else to some of those kids that aren't necessarily inclined to do sports and other kinds of competitions, but then they could really excel and show that they could remember and retain things that they were reading.
Altaview had 129 students compete this year in the school-level competition. Among those to make it to the district-level round was Katie's daughter, Ruby Rowley, who read all 12 books, including the first chapter books she ever read.
It's been really good. I feel like I've been improving at reading, and it's just, you get to use a lot of your imagination.
More than 400 students competed district-wide, including middle schoolers who, in addition to competing as teams, have the added bonus of competing for the individual championship, provided they've read all required 20 books. Mary Grant from Indian Hills won this year's contest, a repeat of last year's win.
My teammates help out a lot, and I read all books and just reread them and reread them.
Wow. So you reread 20 books? Like you read 20 books and then reread some of them?
All of them.
How many times did you read each book?
3 times.
Are you kidding me? When do you find the time for this?
I don't know. Before I go to bed and in the afternoons. I'm a fast reader.
Yeah. The middle school team trophy went to Draper Park Middle's Reading by Dusk team, who narrowly missed the championship title last year, according to their librarian Kylie Arbon, who says all the credit goes to her students, Anna Stevens, Alina Van Lord, Julia Brados, and Mila Halverson.
Promotes independence, just taking care of things on your own. I feel like they have to take all the initiative. I feel like I truly am nope, it's up to you. So I feel like it promotes that. They read books they don't maybe normally reach for, and that's been something that I've asked and talked to a lot of kids about. It's how they feel about the books, because there's some that they learned to love that they never would have picked up. So I think that's really cool too, because they read stuff that's so out of their normal. Even me, there's stuff that I would normally not pick up, but I do because of the Book Blitz. So it just promotes variety of reading, getting into different stuff.
Zeitzef says a lot of thought goes into building the pre-selected book lists.
We work really hard to develop a list that can reach any student, but that also exposes them to a genre they may not typically pick up, or a writer that they may not be familiar with, or a brand new book that is probably sitting in their library, but they don't know that it's there.
Students also put in a lot of work, guided by mentors, to summarize and commit to memory intricate details from each book.
The coaches work with teams or groups of teams, and they learn all the intricacies of the book, the title, the author, the main characters, how the main characters are related, the setting, how the setting impacts the rest of the story, critical plot points, more information about the motivations of the characters and the climax and the resolution, and all of those things as part of their preparation for competition. We're hoping that through some of their preparation, they're beginning to think more deeply about what they're reading, and that they're using those skills in other ways. Like they can transfer those skills to another class or to a different activity. We have a story out of the middle school competition that one of our competitors yesterday actually had made strides academically based on her work with Book Blitz, because just like we've talked about, she's practiced reading, so she's gotten better, and we know she's gotten better because she's actually performed better on assessments than she was previously.
Building on the enthusiasm from this year, Zeitzef and her librarians are planning for next year's Book Blitz. Students have already begun asking about which books will be on the competition list, she says, so the district is making extra copies of the titles available through the Salt Lake County Library System this summer. including ebook and audiobook versions. So, all those dreaming of winning next year's competition can get a head start on bringing that dream to fruition. After all, victory for the Word Ninjas, Liam Sharkey, Thomas McCoy, Rostine Estvajani, Marcus Liu, and Van Hewitt was but a dream until it was close at hand.
I'd say we did pretty good. I don't know if we're making it to the final round. I mean, this man had a dream that we made it to the finals and won, so I'm going to hope that was deja vu.
So keep dreaming and reading lots and lots and lots of books.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Connect Canyons. Connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram @Canyons District, or on our website, canyonsdistrict.org.